Top on the news. Cross River State APC chairman gives updates on National Assembly election primaries. Refute claims of manipulation in process. UNESCO African Union of Broadcasting trains journalists on climate change and disaster risk reduction. Plus, Center for Human Dignity, Concern and Advocacy creates awareness and dignity of the boy child. Details presently. It's nice to have you on Nta Calabar Primetime News. I'm Paul Abel. Now the news in details. Cross River State APC Chairman Christopher Etta is appealing to all aspirants who contested at the recently concluded National Assembly primaries to show maturity in accepting defeat and for the winners to be magnanimous in victory. Christopher Etta stated this during an exclusive interview with NTA News while giving updates on the National Assembly primaries in the state. Oba Isent reports.
The election to choose who fly the flag for both Senate and House of Representatives for APC has been concluded, with winners emerged. However, the reactions of those who won and lost is key to strengthening the party after primaries. Hence, the APC state chairman urged all aspirants to follow strictly machineries put in place for those aggrieved, while calling on winners to embrace the losers.
These are the people we emerged from the process. We are grateful. These are field men, and we are confident that with them, the party is in safe hands in terms of popularity, because the party itself, though popular, will further leverage on their own popularity to drive our party to victory. The party has its own medium where aggrieved parties should channel their issues. You cannot take the laws into your hands. We have the appeal process.
On the alleged manipulation of the process, the chairman refuted such claims as baseless.
I have no idea about what you're saying. The only thing I know is that we had our primaries. I know that most times it's difficult for people who lose to accept defeats. Sometimes they create narrative in order to assuage themselves. You understand? And to give the impression that they are popular, but not for this or but not for that. But as far as we are concerned, the process was followed in line with the rules laid down by the party.
One of the aspirants for Cross River Central, Mary Ekpere, speaks on the election.
Somebody who is not clear to contest an election, of course, even if you participate, it becomes a void vote. And I came second, so I am the winner. So I should be declared. I don't know what they're waiting for. So I came here to see the appeal committee. Today is 20th of May, 2026. The date set aside for appeal committee for Senate aspirant to submit the appeal. Unfortunately, I got here. I just spoke with them. They were not here. I went to Transcorp. I was directed to Transcorp. I went to Transcorp. I didn't see them. So I came back to meet the state chairman. And the state chairman called them. Well, fortunately, they've asked that I come to Abuja, they will take me. And I bought a flight. I'm going to Abuja to go and meet them.
From the APC secretariat, the election had Senator Jarigbe Agom as winner for Cross River North, Odenewa for Central, and Senator Asuko Ekpenyong for South. While in Calabar, Oba Haisen, NTA News.
The shallow drought of the Calabar port has been identified as one of the major challenges in the increase of exports in Cross River State. The Commissioner for Commerce, Abigail Orok-Duke, stated this in an exclusive interview with NTA News. Correspondent has details. Saddled with the responsibility of overseeing the success of commerce and trade in the state, the Commissioner asserts that the challenge of non-dredging of the Calabar Channel has greatly affected the level of vessels coming in or going out of the state, thereby impacting negatively on exports.
The challenges with Calabar ports, because you cannot talk of exports when you don't have a port or when the port is not also working. Exporters, the exporters that are there already who are exporting cocoa from Cross River State, instead of exporting through Calabar ports, they prefer trucking through the road to Ne or to Lagos. So it was a serious challenge which the committee also picked it up. That took us to Ports Authority again to find out what was the challenge. Why is it like that? The initial problem or the usual issue has been the shallow route, water of Cross River, which I also gave a feedback to my governor.
The Commissioner also identifies taxation, transportation implication, and volume of business as other factors impeding export in the state.
We are also working to ensure that our people, get produce that are certified. We are still training them on packaging because our problem has been packaging. It's not enough to, produce a goods or produce one item or the other, but your ability to package it to international standard and get the necessary certification is also a challenge, which the ministry is also working with NEPC, to ensure that we are able to educate our people enough and get them package their produce to internationally acceptable standard.
Dr. Duke, however, posits that government is doing something to change the narrative.
Nationally, there was challenge with the company that was supposed to dredge the Calabar route, and there was an issue in court which intervened. The matter was brought out of court and was settled out of court, and because of that contract was reassigned to another firm. The last time I was in NPA to meet the current general manager, he also informed me that that the company has been the contract has been awarded not just for a one-term dredging, but that the company is going to steadily, continuously dredge the waterways in Calabar. So for that issue, that challenge, I think is going to become a thing of the past.
It is expected that when these issues are fully addressed, activities at the Calabar port will improve and pick up, while export will also yield the needed fruit once again. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News. You're watching NTA Calabar Primetime News, and you can watch this news in different social media platforms of NTA Calabar, including X, Facebook, and YouTube. The news will be back shortly after this break.
Are you looking for a secured environment with good parking space and a natural ambience? Then look no further. NTA Calabar Entertainment Ground has got you covered for marriages, parties, and all kinds of events. Have an event at NTA Calabar Entertainment Ground, you stand a chance to get a discounted rate for your event coverage. For bookings, please call Jane 0806 353 3069. Celebrate your events at NTA Calabar Entertainment Ground. NTA Calabar, the station for the people.
It's good to have you back on the news, and now to the rest of the stories. Journalists in Africa covering the environment beat have been charged to develop their writing skills in reporting climate change issues to bring solace and peace to impacted communities and regions across the continent. This was the thrust at the second edition of a two-day UNESCO African Union of Broadcasting AUB online training on climate change reporting and disaster risk reduction in conflict and fragility context. Correspondent was part of the training and sent in this report. Converge on this online platform are journalists from different countries across Africa undergoing several modules in this climate change and disaster risk reduction training. In her welcome remarks, Head of Projects and Training, African Union of Broadcasting, Margaret Komol, emphasized that the training is geared towards supporting media institutions in Lake Chad Basin countries, including Chad Republic, Niger, Cameroon and Nigeria, to strengthen the capacities of journalists to report on climate change and security issues ravaging the people of the region. Program Specialist and Media Development UNESCO, Zuching Mako, commended participants for the sacrifice and keen attention, promising UNESCO's continuous assistance to support the strengthening of journalists as regards climate change and disaster risk reduction.
UNESCO is now rolling out globally together with our partners in many different regions. Apart from the Lake Chad Basin, your fellow media organizations in many other regions, such as South and Southeast Asia, Central America, Caribbean, and Pacific, they are also working with us this year in this thematic area to develop their institutional disaster preparedness response plans.
For 2 days, renowned communication and environmental expert Emmanuel Wongibe exposed participants to understanding climate change and disaster risk reduction, UNESCO's disaster preparedness and response plan, the cause of climate change, and the role of journalists in mitigating climate change and insecurity.
When you report within the context, drawing from that particular environment, you make your storytelling more relevant and impactful, without which you do stories that are abstract.
Others include the web of insecurity, food insecurity and mitigation in the Lake Chad Basin, gender-sensitive and inclusive lens for climate change reporting, solutions journalism in climate change and disaster storytelling, and artificial intelligence-assisted climate change storytelling and misinformation, focusing on false, incorrect, and misleading information, disinformation, climate denial, delay, and conspiracy theories.
Solution journalism suggests to us that we should expand that definition to responses to problems, because just saying what is wrong is part of the story. Saying what people are trying to do in the face of that problem tells the complete story.
The next phase of the training will be for selected participants in the development of the organization's Disaster Preparedness and Response Plan, DPRP. The Center for Human Dignity Concern and Advocacy is creating awareness about the dignity of the boy child. This is part of activities to commemorate the International Day for the Boy Child with the theme, Positive Role Modeling for Dignity Restoration of the Boy Child. Erica Evie covered the event at the Hope Waddell Training Institution and completes the report.
The Center for Human Dignity, Concern and Advocacy is saddled with the responsibility of peace and conflict resolution, financial literacy skills, entrepreneurial investments, promotion of human dignity, and more. The keynote speaker addressed some of the challenges faced by the boy child, including the suppression of emotions, negative peer pressure, environmental influence, drug addiction, and the get-rich-quick syndrome.
The issue of concern for the boy child is our concern. 16th May, that is being celebrated as the International Year for the Boy Child. But we decided to do our own today. It's still in line with the global celebration. So,
the chairman of the occasion and representative of the founder and chief executive of the organization, Professor Patrick Asukwo, advised male children to speak out when faced with challenges and to focus on developing their skills.
Times we neglect the boy child. We feel that because he's a boy child, so because a child is a boy child, that child should not be looked after. We are more interested in the girl child. We tell them what to do, and you discover that the uniqueness of the boy child is supposed to be, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be the head of the family.
One time for us to talk about boys, because if you notice now, there are a lot of things that are happening, among our boys. Many of them we have a lot of dropout from school. Some of them are not even, they are deviating, from the norms.
We are concentrating on the female children, and tomorrow the female children will want to be married, and then the male children that we neglected, they will still come and be part of the female children that we have raised, and it constitutes a problem in the society.
Stakeholders are calling on the government and other partners to pay critical attention to the boy child, noting that they are the future leaders.
Nurture a child, a boy child, to become resilient, to become empathetic, to become kind, to know that gender roles are not just for the girls, they're for both the males and the females.
Overtaking greater part of our children's life. And if they go into taking drugs, they won't be able to concentrate and develop their skills.
The event featured interactive and discussion sessions. In Calabar, Erika Evie, Nta News.
Those are the stories trending on our channel this day. Don't forget to always tune in to Nta Calabar News. I am Paul Abel. You have a great day.